So this is a kind of interrupt the programming. As you guys know, every month we do a Ylopo Superstar Client Success Spotlight. So we find someone who is not only a superstar in their own right, but they are a superstar at using our system, because that's what our community is craving, has been craving. Like, hey, we want to learn from the people who are doing this every day. And so we've got superstar success spotlights. We had them planned out all the way through the fall. We have so many people to spotlight. So Livia was up next. And thank you, Livia, for giving up your hour-long spotlight. You will be the next spotlight. We commandeered her spotlight. But she, of course, is going to be leading the way here. And we brought on the superstar panel of folks that I know are going to be able to impart a lot of stuff from a high-level philosophical things, right, down to what you guys know I really care about. Like when we do success summits, I love the meat on the bones. I love the really granular stuff, the in-the-weeds stuff that by the end of today's webinar, our clients will they're taking notes, they're going to rewatch the webinar like, wow, I'm going to start doing this tomorrow. So panelists, think about that. Like, what are you going to be teaching? We're like, our folks are going to be thinking about things at a high level, but also like, we're going to be doing this tomorrow, next week, and in the future. So when I thought about how we title this, it's like what you can and should be doing right now. And there may be some debate there, and that's okay, guys. Like, this is a time of crisis. Everyone's all over the place. Like, it's okay to have a healthy debate. Maybe we enter into that. And then how to pave the way for massive success in the future, right? And doing that in a sort of thoughtful and caring way. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's just see here. We're trying to move the slide. It's not moving. Okay, good. Here we go. So there's our panel. What we're going to do in the first hour is it's really kind of like a speed round, 5 to 7 minutes for every panelist. Going to deliver 30 minutes of info in 5 to 7 minutes. That's the first hour. And then we're going to, encouraging all of our panel to please stay if you can. And our whole community will get to ask questions to the panel. Now, we may not be able to get to every single question, but one administrative note, please ask your questions in the Q&A, not in the chat. We always say it, people, they can't resist. You can make comments, thumbs up, applaud people right in the chat, but ask your questions in the Q&A, okay? So I'm gonna lead off. We got G, Livia, Barry, Jenkins. I call Dr. J now because Dr. J was my favorite basketball player of all time. And yes, I am that old. We've got Tristan, Grant, Johnson, Damon Gettier, Mike Bernier, Robby T, Mike Bjorkman, Mike Novak, Chris Waters, Noelle Nielsen. In the history of real estate, there has never been a better panel. It's true. When Brad Inman saw this panel, he called me this morning. He's like, oh my God, I've been trying to get this panel for years and I couldn't get it. I can't get it, right? So I'm just kidding. He didn't really call me. But we've got really the best panel I've ever seen. It's incredible. So the second hour, right, we're gonna do the Ask the Experts. And what we're getting into is, like, I saw this article yesterday, right, in Inman Tech. Coronavirus drives adoption of video tours. Amid quarantines and calls for social distancing, agents are turning to video chats and virtual tours to show off properties. So innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. Now, when we talk about opportunity, right, we're not talking about taking opportunity at the expense of others, right? We are here today. Why are we here today? Okay. We're here today because each of these individuals is giving back. Each of these individuals that are on our panel today are giving back to our whole community. And I love this quote, we rise by lifting others. So that's the point of being here today. Then everybody in this community is going to go out, I think, after today, be so inspired to help lift others, right, in a really thoughtful, caring way. So what we're doing here today, you guys are going to go, and you're probably already doing it, right? It's about community. It's about collaboration. It's about communication. It's about engagement, participation, creativity, innovation. That's what we're doing. Now, just to not like get too incredibly serious, everybody knows at my summits, I always have like one movie clip. so this will be a movie clip that I haven't shown yet, but it's kind of funny. Let me show it, and I'll tell you why I'm showing it.
Everyone's here, so let's get some Chipotle.
Okay. And let's get some Chipotle.
Hey, that's me. Back over there.
I gotta turn this off.
Are you ordering the Chipotle for us, Howard, or how are we expecting that delivered?
Mike. Now I got my other favorite movie clip, and I gotta figure out how to turn it off.
I don't know what to say, really.
Where's it actually playing? Great. Did we stop it?
Yeah, keep going. Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. All right. So good. So why did I show that? It was really weird. Really strange. All of yesterday, which was really yesterday, was a really profound day for me. I kept hearing in the back of my mind, what we do in life echoes in eternity. And, what I was taking from that is what we do now, and over the next, week, month, 2 months, 6 months, year, is going to have lasting effects on us, our family, our clients. And I want everybody in the audience to know that, right? It's what we do in life echoes in eternity, but what we do during this crisis is going to echo for a really, really long time. And it may seem a little bit dopey, but like we're going into battle, right? I was speaking to a college roommate of mine who is a surgeon who is going into battle. I called him, as I'm calling a lot of friends, to check in on him. And he said to me something yesterday that shook me, but it's just true. And I've got to say it. He's like, I am on the front lines. I'm going into the hospital every day. I am going to go into ICU every day. I am going to get the coronavirus. He was like, I'm going to get it and I'm going to bring it home. And there's nothing I can do about it. Right. But what he does now is going to echo forever. He's going into battle. Right. So let's put that in perspective of what he's going to do now for the next whatever months. Right. And what we're doing. Another thing he said here in the clip is hold the line. A lot of what you're going to hear is like, hold the line, guys. Right. This is what we're doing. What we're doing, for our family, for our business, for our clients. And if you find yourself alone, they're saying you find yourself, you're in Elysium, you're dead, right? But that's why we're a community. That's why we're all coming together. None of us are going to do this alone. We're going to do this as a family. So sorry for the clip, right? And sorry for getting a little bit too, whatever. But it was very, very meaningful for me, and I thought it was super, super appropriate. So having said that, G, can you want to take over the share?
Yeah.
Almost 700 on this, guys. I think we're breaking a record here. This is really incredible. Thank you to everybody who's joined us.
Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, you loud enough, G?
Yeah. Can you all hear me?
A little louder. Good.
Can you all hear me? Okay. Howard, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. We got
Okay.
you. You're good.
Awesome. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. I wanted to start off and give you guys a state of the union of all the things that my team is doing to make sure that we are responding to this crisis in the right way, from a digital marketing and awareness perspective, and to tailor everything we're doing to meet the moment. So at the highest level, what's really interesting, and I've shared some of these stats online on our Facebook community, and I'm seeing this trend continue, is that as everyone is staying home right now, and I'm sure bored out of their minds, we're seeing a dramatic decrease in the costs associated with advertising online, which is fantastic. I suspect that there's two factors. The first is that people are spending a lot more time on Facebook and Instagram. And also, there has been a decreased level of competition. And so when that happens, there's a lot of opportunity, right? The metrics that I look at most closely are three things. The first is what's called cost per 1,000 impressions, which is basically how much Facebook charges for us to show ads to 1,000 people, right? And that cost, as you guys can see here, has actually accelerated over the last couple of days. It is now 13% lower in the last week than was in the previous week, which is a great sign, right? The second metric I look at is the cost to get someone to click on an advertisement, which shows the interest that someone sees in the advertisements that we're putting out there, which has also decreased by 10%. And of course, that all trickles down to your cost per lead, right? Your cost per lead in the last week has decreased by about 10% as well. All of this is to say that spending the same amount of money as you were spending before, you are seeing about a 10% decrease or increase in the number of leads you're going to get across all of our clients. I expect these type of stats to only increase in the next couple of weeks here. And so that's some really good news for all of you guys who are advertising on social. Now, we're not just standing still on our advertisements. We are testing a lot of new stuff in response to coronavirus, right? On the buyer side, we are now running our ads, or we're testing running our ads with virtual tour language, right? So just listed, welcome to your dream home, set up a virtual tour to see these homes today, right? So what we're seeing is by just injecting the keyword virtual tour, we are getting a 19% higher click-through rate on our ads, which is fantastic, right? And on the seller side, what we're doing is we're changing the language to these homes just sold in your area. Why not sell your home virtually without open houses or live showings, right? So on that type of ad, what we're seeing is a 35% lower cost per click, which is again, an indication of the interest in these types of ads. So we just started running these advertisements on Monday. So as you can imagine, I don't have enough data yet to scale this out to every single client. We are still testing a lot of different things, but expect in the next couple of weeks here for us to start injecting this type of language in all of our advertising. The second thing we've done is we have changed the Raya scripting to 100% align with the new environment. So this is thanks to Dr. J, Dr. Barry for getting all of these scripts changed in like less than a day. But we are injecting the language of virtual live stream showings, virtual open houses into all of our scripting as well. Now, what's interesting is you would think in this time that there are less people who are engaging with Raya, as well as more people who are saying that they're not interested in real estate. That's not what we're seeing site-wide. Across the board, we actually haven't seen a decrease in conversation rate with Raya at all in the last week versus the previous week. And in fact, what we're seeing is that there's 14% of conversations that are graded, less conversations that are graded as not interested, which, I think, again, reflects the fact that people are still engaging in real estate, but also that because they have more time, they're ready to engage in those conversations. So, don't kind of ignore your Raya, responses. Don't assume conventional wisdom that people are less interested. I would still work your leads just as aggressively and watch out for Raya just as aggressively as you normally would. The last thing we're doing that we've implemented so far is that we have actually released some new branding diva ads that are going to directly address the situations that are going on and to address coronavirus. So let me show you first how you get there, right? So if you go onto your mission control platform and click on the marketing tab, you're going to go into the marketing section of mission control, right? If you scroll down to the current campaigns area and click on remarketing, you're going to see a campaign probably at the bottom that says branding, right? So this is where all of your brand videos are going to live. And in the branding column, if you scroll to the bottom, you're going to see 3 new branding ads that have been created, but created as paused, right? What this means is because these are, I would say a bit, especially in our community, a bit polarizing. Some clients love it. Some clients are like a little wary about running it. So we've decided that we are going to make it your choice, obviously, to run these ads or not.
Hey,
right?
G, show the.
Can you turn mine off?
Show the stock market one, and then put the sound on.
Yeah.
And after that, turn them on for me while you're there, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put the volume up. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to show. Oh, Kiwi doesn't. Kiwi, where was the little bit more sort of uplifting one with the guy sitting on the couch? Maybe that's the second one, the disbelief?
Yeah.
Yeah, show that one. Yeah, okay. Put the music up. Yeah, so look, as G is, that's cool. So, as G is saying, it's these are options, guys. And if you don't feel comfortable with any of them and don't like any of them, don't play them, right? And some of our folks have seen them, love them, and feel comfortable with them and feel good about them. The major point here is that I've been doing this, guys, since the beginning of 2007. Okay. Right. So I've been doing this for 13 years, and I've never seen a time, obviously, because of the crisis, where we were always trying to figure out, like, when's the best time to get in front of, leads, and, call them at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, exactly when they're on the line, waiting to pick up their kids. Like, we'd always try to think about, okay, they're sitting on the carpool line waiting to pick up their kids, so that reach them then, right? We've never seen, in our lifetime, a time where everybody is home like this. Everybody is on lockdown. Everybody's home. Everyone's going stir crazy. And as G has shown the stats, they're there. And there's never been a time also where they're more willing to talk to you. Now, you need to talk to them. You in my opinion, you should not be calling them to sell them. You should not be, calling them with this immediate, oh, how do I overcome objections right now? And how do I get them to act right now? That's not what it's about, right? This is a caring call. This is a hearing them. This is a sort of, hey, when this gets better, tell me your fantasy. Tell me, what does that look like? What do you want to do down the line? Now, someone might tell you, no, I actually need to do something right now. We had a chat right now who's from Lisa, who said that AI just helped her schedule 2 showings today, right? And a lot of the panelists are going to kind of talk about that. But I think, in mass, we've got to be super sensitive and think about laying the groundwork while you've got time at home, while they've got time at home, laying the groundwork every single day, building relationships in a really positive, supportive way, so that when the time is right, down the line in the future, you are set for massive, massive success. And they're going to work with you because you were there to talk to them, to hear their issues, to hear what they want to do in the future when no one else was, when everyone else was cowering in a corner.
Awesome. Yeah. So, one tactical recommendation I would make is that, since you're turning on, if you end up turning on 1 or more of these videos, my recommendation is to go ahead and turn off the same number of videos that you've turned on. That way, it just maximizes your budget and makes sure that these videos get a ton of exposure. We added one other video as well called Top 5 Kitchen Hacks, which is a long form video that, we actually shot, we hired actors for to create. So you can check that out as well. The other thing is if you press the download video option, then you're going to be able to see all of these videos on your desktop, and you can post it organically and do whatever else you want to do with those videos, right? So encourage all of you guys to go here, turn those videos on, the ones that you like. And if you don't see these videos yet, just know we started creating these this morning. So it's probably going to take about a day to get everyone active to seeing these videos. So hold tight. It will appear in the next day or so. Awesome. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of other things. We're testing a lot of other things. So we'll now make more announcements as we go. Watch out for YSC for all of the additional things that we're doing. We love your feedback and ideas on things that we try. So we are loving how much the community is engaging with our content, and I expect more to come. Awesome. I'll turn it over to the next person.
Okay, super. That was awesome, G. We appreciate you. There we go. Now we can see your whole face. You're crouching down. So one of our comments, commenters like, we can only see half of G. And while that was going on, we had Chris Ozar chatted, and he just took a $1.9 million brownstone listing via Zoom and pitching Matterport tours. Chris, that's awesome. Thank you. So let's move on to Livia Monteforte, superstar, and our latest realtor in residence. Everybody on this panel, by the way, is a Ylopo professor. And if you don't have your professor t-shirt, Kiwi, get to Kiwi at ylopo.com. He'll send you your Ylopo professor shirt. And Livia is an actual realtor in residence. So Livia, the stage is yours.
So what I wanted to share is it's a crazy time, absolutely crazy, unprecedented time. And we feel the stress and the anxiety and the angst. But I think it's so important. We talked about this at the summit, and I've talked about this in webinars. It's about being a real person. And there's no better time to connect with our database of people than right now. It's exciting in a non-horrible way that we have this commonality that we're sharing with them. We also have these fears, right? We also have these anxieties. And so now we get to reach out, throw the scripts out the window, and talk to them like they're people. And the amazing thing is, by connecting with these folks, we keep saying 2020 is a year of video. We have the infrastructure, we have the technology. Now is our chance to kind of put pedal to the metal. So we can use Zoom, we can use BombBomb or another video means. We have all these different things we can do to connect with these folks. And now the conversation is one that's undeniable. So what I've been talking to my agents a lot about is, how do we begin the conversation? What do we say to add value? And one thing we need to do is ask them how they're doing. Call up and say, hey, it's Livia from Cape Cod. I'm the realtor that keeps sending you all the properties. I know we haven't connected yet, but I've been thinking about you and I wanted to reach out and see how you're doing. Just talk to them and get them to start talking to us. And then have the plan for how we're going to help them. We've been incredibly successful in the past 4 days with doing Zoom face-to-face meetings with our folks. We're reaching out to our past clients to check on their family and their friends. And then at the end of that convo, don't forget to ask for more business. Say, in light of everything that's going on, I know the rates are low, people still have to sell and people still have to buy. Do you know anyone else that I should be talking to right now? It is a huge value add, and they do know people that need you right now. But then remind them they can look at homes virtually. We've been doing 3D tours on our listings for many years now, and we feel that's a huge value add. If you do not have the technology right now to do a 3D tour, you got a cell phone, walk through your listings and take a video for them and have that in your portal of things to send to them. We're offering them the ability to do virtual tours with us where we take the precautions, and I tell them what I do so that they know that I'm not disregarding the CDC or the WHO guidelines either. I don't want them to feel I'm disrespecting the environment. So I tell them what I do to be cautious. I tell them how I do it. And then I let them know that I can go through and virtually walk them through a house the relief that they emanate when you say this to them, that you understand this is an unprecedented time and that you can help alleviate the stress, is huge. And then a practical thing we've done just to help kind of, I mean, a lot of us have larger databases, so calling however many thousand leads might be challenging to you. What you can do is set up campaigns, and you want those campaigns to have video included. Make sure there is a video of you talking to them. I love on Tristan's page, when he posts a video and he's talking to people, you feel connected. You feel that sense of understanding from him. That is something that we cannot discount right now. And so if you use different video means, I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to tell you, if you aren't using BombBomb, BombBomb has a special that they're offering right now. Steve Pachinelli told me I could offer this out on behalf of Ylopo. It's bombomb.com/C, coronavirus. bombomb.com/C. It's $29.99 a month to be able to send videos out to the people, the real people in your database. And if you want to try another means, some of my agents like the Google video. I think that's $5 a month. I'm not very familiar with it, but make sure you incorporate video.
So Livia, you can post that, the BombBomb link, you can post that in the chat to all attendees and all panelists. And this is a special for Ylopo clients, is that right?
Yep, he said to make sure we offer it. I'll post it right now. It's a great way, depending on what CRM you're using. Have a video, do an evergreen video of yourself in a room without windows, without obvious where you're at time of day, and make sure that gets sent out to everyone in your database that you haven't yet communicated with. But then for the people that you know, the people that have the tag I know, and they're real people to you, you should be sending them a one-on-one video, and you want to make sure that they know they matter to you right now, and that you have solutions and ways to help them navigate this crazy environment. You will help this be simple, and you will help this still be enjoyable, so it's not an added stress in amongst everything else they're dealing with.
Donald, one of our clients, asks, will this apply to those of us that are already subscribed to BombBomb? Because obviously it's a lot of people.
It depends on what level you're at. That is the entry level. If you want the level that you can do more with it, you might want to stay where you are. But take a look at it, see what's offered, and definitely call BombBomb. It's worth, if you don't do BombBomb and it's because of the cost per month, this gives you no excuse not to do it. It's a great way to get in front of them.
It was great, Livia, when you and I were chatting the other day and you told me how you guys were going to lose a listing and you saved it, right?
Yeah. Well, the honest to goodness fear is the sellers were really concerned about people coming through their house. And this is a $3.4 million listing. And they said, I feel a little uncomfortable about this. I mean, I don't know who's bringing in what. I don't know what's going to happen. And so we outlined to them what we were doing. We told them we have booties at the ready. We ask people to take off their shoes. If they don't, we ask them to put on booties. We have antibacterial spray. We have the Clorox wipes. We wipe everything down. If people want to have a closet door opened or a cabinet opened, we offer to open it for them. And then we spray down all the doorknobs and surfaces when the folks leave. That put his mind at ease. And then I told him, we do ask all the folks coming to look, please don't begrudge us for asking, but are you and all the folks that are going to be coming through healthy? If they say yes, then we give them the option of doing the 3D tour or seeing it in person. We understand this is a new normal for people, hopefully a very temporary one, but it's one that we've been completely equipped. We have the infrastructure. We've got technology. We've got the videos. We can navigate this and we can stand out from the rest of the crowd. Because a lot of realtors, unfortunately, are taking this as either an excuse to disconnect from their database or as a reason why the market is plummeting and everything's horrible. It doesn't have to be that. People still need homes. If
this $3.4 million listing, they were like, look, we're just not having anyone come in, could you still like basically say, fine, we're just going to show this virtually?
Absolutely.
Right? And when you feel comfortable, we're going to have a ready-made buyers that will come in, but not till then. Just keep the whole thing virtual.
And honestly, buyers feel better about it too, knowing there's a virtual option. They do feel a peace of mind. They might not want to go on a buyer tour with you to look at 5 homes, but if they do the virtual tour and narrow it down to one, they'll come look at one home that they're ready to see. The other thing that I'd say is offer the buyer and seller consults virtually, and make sure you're doing that in a video to these folks, because we've had incredibly successful consults. We have a listing that as of, it's in a week, will be going live for $1 million. That was a video consult. He was worried about different features in the home, and he didn't know how to get my expertise on what he should do. So we did a video consult. I walked through all the forms over video. I explained what we're going to do. It was all e-signed. We don't need to be scared off by this. This is our chance to finally become the real people that we want to be to them. This is our chance to connect with them. We're going through what they're going through, and we're pivoting just enough. I mean, I think as realtors, we should be looking at this as an exciting chance to prove why we're so good at what we do.
Is it crazy, like, if someone just like, look, you're not coming in to shoot a virtual tour, nobody's coming in, is it crazy to say, look, I'm going to show you how to do it with your iPhone. We're going to work on this together, make a fun project, and they shoot it, and then you put it to music, whatever you do, right? You've worked on it together, but no one came in the home, they did it, and now you can post it virtually.
Yeah, it's whatever works for them. Remember, they're people with fears and concerns, and they have hesitations, which are completely justified. And a big thing I have to say, don't be the realtor that goes, oh, hey, we're excited. We're going to get you past this. Don't worry about it. Justify their concerns. They're valid concerns. So make sure that you're in the ship with them, that you acknowledge what they're saying, and that you let them know you understand. However, this is what we're doing to help you accomplish your goals. And then you're the value to them. Remember, they have to know who you are. Video and these buyer-seller consults are going to let that happen. They have to know what you do. They will know you're the best of the best by what you're promising to do. And then they have to trust you. And they will trust you when you acknowledge and you let them know how you're pivoting to navigate this market. We're the advisors, we're the experts. So let them know that. Let them know they can trust us right now.
Thank you, Livia. We really, really appreciate it. That was absolutely amazing. If you've got questions, guys, put them in Q&A. If you want to share a success story or make a comment, that goes in chat. Chris Ozar just took a $1.9 million brownstone listing via Zoom and pitching Matterport tours. Love that. All right, Dr. Jade, my favorite basketball player, Barry Jenkins, is up. Thank you, Livia. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was really good stuff, Livia. Appreciate you sharing. And that's really the kind of attitude that we've got to have. So this is my slide. Let's make sure it's working. All right. So what we should be doing now, that's me in 2008. And can you guys see that picture, Howard?
Yes, we can.
What stands out to you about that picture? My head is in the sand. He must have muted.
Sorry.
That's what I did.
I'm muting so the screen doesn't catch me, so it's all you.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's you with your head in the sand in 2008. That's what strikes me.
Yes. There's a reason why you're the CEO, Howard. I'm just kidding. But, in 2008, I was used to the phone ringing. I was used to putting a sign in the yard and having an abundance of opportunity. Running an ad in the magazine, having an abundance of opportunity. Then it stopped, and I waited, and I starved. We made $1,500 that year. And so the first thing I want to talk about quickly is your mindset. It's everything. It's everything right now. If you don't decide that you're going to make minor adjustments in your business, you're going to have trouble selling real estate. And, Chris Farley, Black Sheep, you can be the stressed out salesperson, or you can be the one chilling, doing what you got to do, Bjorkman style on the beach. And so I've been doing a daily huddle every day, and I'm listening to agents on my team struggling, and I'm helping them overcome the fear. The first thing we're doing is we created a virtual showing program. People love programs. It's a USP. It's a unique selling proposition. You want to confirm that the client is bought into you as their agent. You're providing a program and a service that others aren't, and you get to show houses. What we did was we took our exclusive agency agreement that we would have people sign if they were going to be our client for 3, 6, 9 months, however long. And I added some verbiage at the top, and I had legal for our brokerage review it. And it essentially says that we're going to go show 3 homes for you virtually, and we're not going to charge you for this. And it excludes FSBOs, and it excludes off-market properties, because I'm not going to waste my time doing a virtual showing if they're not going to pay a commission. And so, you know, we added this to the buyer-broker agreement, and our buyer-broker agreement follows after that, but I didn't include that here. From there, we wrote a text message that we've been going through all of our leads, and I told my agents to start with hot and warm, people that you've spoken to. Hello, wanted to check in and see if you'd like me to visit a few homes for you this weekend and live stream the video. When I wrote Raya, I used live stream because I wanted to emphasize that this is not just a virtual tour of pictures. I want them to feel the live stream aspect, and that has resonated with people based on the responses we're receiving from Raya. So you can preview listings without having to leave the comfort of your home. And we used a coffee cup emoji because what we're trying to do is show the convenience that we're providing in this service. The response to this text message has been tremendous. We have had a lot. Now look, don't overthink the whole virtual showing thing. Have the person send you a Facebook message, and you don't have to be friends. It goes into your spam or your other box in your Facebook Messenger, and there's this little icon on both iPhone and Android. Oops, hold on. There we go. This little icon right here on both iPhone and Android, and it's a video chat. That's what the whole Facebook portal thing is all about. They're selling these devices because they want people using video, and you have the ability to do it free. You don't have to get super nerdy with it if you don't want to. Then what we did, and I posted this in YSC, is we are texting and calling anyone that we've sold a home to in the last 12 months and anyone who we consider an A or a B client. And A and B clients, really the difference we use, it's kind of Buffini defined, but basically is the person, if the topic of real estate comes up, are they aggressively referring? That would be an A. And then if the person is not, if asked, who do you know that's an agent, they respond with our info. So that's the people we're focusing on, the last 12 months, and then those types of past clients. I wanted to check on you and see how you guys are holding up. Do you have any needs? I know there was a toilet paper and milk shortage. Please let me know. I can call around for locations near you. And what I told my agent is that I will have one of our virtual assistants actually call the Walgreens and the Targets and the you know, the Walmarts around whatever the location is. All they have to do is email. And this morning on the huddle, one of my agents said that the response was incredible. And when you're calling them, you want to say, hey, this is your favorite realtor, Barry Jenkins. You want to say who you are, what your role is, what your job is. And you almost want them to be like, oh, I don't have any real estate needs right now. Because then you get to say, oh, I'm not calling about real estate. I'm calling to provide you with, you know, milk, toilet paper, connecting you, because it kind of sucks driving around looking for that stuff. And I don't know if that's hit y'all's area, but it has mine, and it's really annoying. I had all my agents create a loom.com account. Loom is free. And if you don't have HomeBot yet, you're going to get it. And eventually, not yet, like within weeks, not months. And go through a CMA by sharing the screen and have your picture in the bottom left corner and go through it. You can get the job done by screen sharing. Zoom.com. What we're doing this webinar has a free account. That's actually why Zoom became so popular, is their free service is incredible. You can't do webinars like this, but you can have up to 100 people on your Zoom screen share. And so use Zoom as well. That way you can interact with them. Creative listing process. So we had a above average list price. So it was like almost 400,000 that came from remarketing. And the homeowner checked the seller experience, Raya engaged, converted. We walked in, they were like, you're gonna sell our house, we're hiring you. And the pictures were this morning. And this morning during the huddle, one of my agents said, oh no, they wanna postpone because they're in the military. And I have the largest Navy base in the world in my market, and no PCS for the next 60 days, no military moving for the next 2 months. They wanna wait. I said, tell them no, don't wait. Sell your house and we will negotiate so that you rent your house back after it closes. It's called a seller possession agreement. And they get their cake and they eat it too. They get to sell it fast and they get to stay there until it's time to go, and they're released from all that pressure. It worked. Another thing we're doing is virtual tour 3D showings, and we're doing 24/7 open houses. The way that we're doing that is we are using Matterport. Now we happen to have a Matterport camera. They're like $5,000. So, you know, not necessarily saying to go buy one, but what you can do is call your favorite photographer that's still going into homes, set up a virtual showing, put these signs everywhere, like just like you would do an open house, text 1234 to this number, and then text them a link like this. And hopefully this will open. This is just an example on Matterport's website. And what we're doing is we've actually generated, or we've ordered 3 Matterports right now for 3 different listings that we're going to use for buyer lead gen. And as G has already shared, the copy of virtual showings was an idea that G and I came up with, and it's working really well. But you can see, if you haven't looked into Matterport, now is the time to dive into it, because I am literally just walking through the house, and then I can hit this button, and I can view the dollhouse view. I can look at the different, oh, that's the top of the building. You know, this is the floor plan. Anyway, all right. And then I don't remember if that's my last slide or not. Let me look. Yeah, that's my last slide. I'm done.
Cool, Barry. Thank you. Thank you so much. So there were a lot of creative answers to your head in the sand image, way more creative than mine. The best one was that you were practicing social distancing, but there were a lot of really, really funny and creative answers to that. There were a lot of, Livia, there were a lot of like, thank you, Livia. That was spot on. That was amazing. You're amazing. And you know, a couple here. Thanks, Livia. Did a buyer's consult yesterday by phone with a couple, and it went very well. They're ready to go out looking this weekend. They never even brought up any concerns, but I shared some ideas that you shared. Loved everything you said, Livia. And as a new agent, I am already having a hard time thickening my skin, but I also felt this made me more human when I called and asked about their well-being and listened to their stories. The script that Barry shared yesterday was amazing. Barry, you're awesome. So there's so much stuff here that we're, you know, here's the thing, guys. The entire webinar is going to be recorded. Anytime somebody shares something, a URL link, a script, a tool, a video, like all this stuff gets shared, right? So Kiwi at Ylopo.com or Facebook message Kiwi. Thank you, Kiwi, also for always being, you know, the guy that puts all this stuff together. You know, post in the Ylopo success community. We're going to get you guys everything that's on here. Don't worry about it. Okay, without further ado, we're going to go to superstar panelist Mike Novak, because we know he's the one panelist who has to leave us and do something productive. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Going good, man. I know Robby's got to get going too, so maybe Robby can go right after I go. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on real quick and share a couple of things. I'm a big mindset believer, and you know, kind of like what you shared earlier, Howard, with Gladiator. I think it's so important right now that we all rise to the occasion and recognize and be aware of the challenge that we have in front of us. This is like a 9/11 moment. This is a 2008 type moment, and it's our time to shine. A lot of people, a lot of leaders, just humans in general, when something comes up and it's a big challenge in front of us, we often just do nothing. We don't know what to do. We're just kind of waiting for the dust to settle or to get all the information we need to make an informed decision. What I challenge all of us to do, and as leaders and as agents in our communities with our families, is to take action today. Realize the fight that you're in, get into the fight and get after it. We have a responsibility to lead our families and our agents through this challenging time. And step one is to get your mindset right and realizing the scale of the fight that we're in right now. We will get through this. I'm totally confident of that, but realizing that you're in a fight and getting into the fight is super important right now. So on a tactical level, Howard, I know you want the tactics. We are focusing heavily on people we already have relationships with. So people that we've met with, that we've signed, those people are still getting out and looking at houses. We're kind of in the epicenter up here, right by Seattle. And people are still looking at homes. You know, last night we pended a deal. There was 3 other offers on the home. It just came on the market the same day. But our buyer won it, and they still got out there and looked at the house. So people are still looking at homes if they're really, you know, a serious buyer. And serious buyers to me are people that need to move right now. They're people that have death, divorce, relocation, babies, things like that. Life events are going to keep happening. And I think that it's really important that as agents, we're not just assuming that everyone's not going to want to make a move, because there are certain people out there that have to move. So I think having that mindset is ultra important. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is many of us have client events that we have planned. I know Robby's team's got some planned, Damon's had some planned, our team's had some planned. We are now turning our client events into community events. The Bunnies and Brews event that we had going on, where people were going to be coming down to a beer garden and food trucks and bouncy houses. Now it's a food drive where we've got an agent in each one of our communities that's collecting food with a major call to action, all of our clients, our sphere, our family, and our friends to donate food to the charity that we're going to be supporting. So I would really encourage you guys to rally your community, to lead your community through this, and take your client event and turn it into a community-based organization.
Good. Mike, that was awesome. Short and sweet. Remember, guys, right now, for the next, whatever it is, few weeks or, you know, whatever it's going to be, you know, as much as you can do virtually. All right. We just have to be, you know, there's something beyond, obviously, buying and selling homes and real estate. There's, you know, serious social distancing. It's virtual as possible. We've all got to do our part, you know, right now to, as they say, kind of, you know, flatten the curve. But Mike, be safe, be healthy. I know that you guys are really in the, you know, one of the, you know, epicenters up there. You know, all health and Godspeed. And we know you got a jet, but we appreciate you, man.
Of course, man. Take care.
Thank you. Robby T.
Awesome. It's always fun following Mike because he's the most direct person in the world. And as I joke down in LA, the dude's my bodyguard anywhere I go with him because he will fight everyone off. Hey, you know, I think I want to pick up where Mike just let off. That and frankly, where Barry left off, that mindset is so key. And I want you to write this down, is that we are on the cusp of one of the greatest lead generation opportunities in a long time. And here's why. I'm going to tell you facts, I'm going to tell you numbers. If you've heard me talk, I've been the doom and gloom guy saying that phone calls aren't getting answered anymore, right? Well, guess what's happened in the last week or two? You know, the state of Minnesota went through a shutdown, basically shut down the schools, bars, restaurants in the last few days. And what Jim has told me, and I want to tell Jim's story, that our answer rate has increased about 350 to 400% in the last 3 days. All right, and Mike Bernier, you know, right up here. And here's what's happening, and I think Mike Novak can relate to this. He just texted me right before this that people are now beginning to hunker down, and we need to recognize one simple thing. We need to talk about the realities of what people are feeling. And here's the thing: is people don't just have health fears and concerns anymore. This is what I want you to know. Now it's shifting to some economic concerns. And here's the big thing that you need to understand is far too many of you are going to hear these concerns. You're going to hear their objection and you're going to stop, or you're going to stop calling. I love Barry's picture of the head in the sand because that is exactly what your competition is doing. And that's why I'm saying this is a massive lead generation opportunity. Not only is our answer rate skyrocketing, but your competition isn't out there making the calls. But here's the biggest thing I wanna gift you is really this, is that right now, people are craving that distraction. They're craving human connection. You have people that naturally want to connect with other humans, and they're not in their offices with their friends, and you have a massive opportunity to connect with them. And here's the reality. Our whole mindset has always been this idea that people don't want to be sold, they want to be heard, understood, and valued. And if anything, what this stuff is showing me is this is of paramount importance. And here's why is people are concerned. There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of unknown. And you can't handle that script. That's what I think everybody goes wrong, is they're trying to handle the script. And what I would encourage you to do is ask other questions to get them off of it. So here's 2 questions we've been asking that has helped us prolong conversations, even when people have said, I don't want to do anything right now. First question we've been asking is, you know, before all this craziness, what were you hoping to do? And then the second one is getting them to think about the future. When this craziness settles down, what are you hoping to do? And I think really what I want you all to hear with this is,
I'm going to repeat that, because that's exactly what I've been thinking. When we get past this,
yes,
right? When the sky's clear, however you want to say it, what do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
And you know, what does that look like for you, right? Because, you know, we're connecting the dots here, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody's home. Everybody's looking. We've got our audience. We can listen. We can ask. We can share. We can care, right? All the things that Robby has been preaching in our community.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, right? And I've been through these things before.
Yeah.
While our industry is going to suffer like all other industries and all other workers and all other businesses, we're also going to come out of it. Our industry is going to come out of this, I think, a little bit faster than others.
I agree.
Because there's going to be so much pent up demand to do something. Maybe they're just like, I just got to sell my house. I'll take a little price haircut. I got to go. This is my wake up call. This has been my wake up call to do this thing or move that place or whatever it is. Right. And so buyers they're just like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm hunkering down.
Yeah.
Sellers, I'm not listing. I'm hunkering down. Understand, as you just said, Robby, they're hunkering down.
Yes.
But as they're hunkered down, you can communicate with them. Listen, ask, share, care, right? And then there's going to be massive pent up demand to do things. And you guys, the 700, and I think our top was 730 folks that were on this call today, are going to be positioned to do that. Sorry, man, but you inspire me, Robby.
No, you're right.
Interrupt.
You know, I want to add 2 more things quick. And it's funny because, about a quarter of the panel today is from Minnesota, and we all know what it's like to go through seasonality. And I think we're in the midst of a season right now, and you brought up pent-up demand. And I think it's really key. We have people that wanted to do something in April, May, and June, and they're pressing pause. And those people now are going to move and merge in with all the people that were wanting to do something this summer. And this is why I'm telling people this is the greatest lead generation opportunity. And we've been built for this because every dang January and February, it is negative 20 degrees here in Fargo, North Dakota. It's, negative 10 degrees in Minneapolis, Minnesota, give or take. And literally it suppresses demand. And if you come talk to us, what happens is literally the first day that the sun comes out, it's 45 degrees. It's like a light switch gets turned on like that. And here's the thing. We don't know when the economic fear of all this will end. We don't know when this will end for sure. It could be 30, 60, 90, could be longer. It will end at some point. And it will be a light switch moment where it's going to just hit. And what you need to be focused on to tie this all together is don't just be focused on trying to convert people now, trying to push people to do something now. Build your pipeline. That way, 3 months from now, 2 months from now, you have tons of opportunities to pick through. You will have a capacity issue at that point. And here's my last point. This is what I've been telling all my clients is One, double down on effort. Pick up the phone, make the calls, all right? Shoot the text. Number two, triple down on listening. You need to hear people out. You need to understand that they're going through some pain. There's healthcare workers that are literally risking their lives so we can be on a panel right now. So we can keep moving forward with our lives. And then quadruple down on a ton of compassion and empathy. Because in times like this, people are going to be at heightened stress. They're going to be scared, and you need to hear people. So double down on effort, triple down on listening, quadruple down on compassion and empathy. And I have no doubt that 3 months from now, you're going to be thanking yourself. That's all I got.
Robby, that was amazing. Really, really amazing. I'm blown away every time you speak. Yeah, dude, that was so right on. And I'm going to be actually serious. Like it's pretty crazy. It's literally 25% of our panel are from Minnesota. I'm going to put you in Minnesota. Or you are in Minnesota, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
And Mike Bernier and Grant Johnson and Noelle. And one of the things I've realized is there is an expression, Minnesota nice, isn't there? It's like it's a real expression.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of the things that I've seen, because we have clients in every nook and cranny of North America. And it's amazing. But one of the things I have seen is that, we have a lot of clients like, I've got Ylopo and I don't want anyone else in my area to have Ylopo, right? And, we get that like all the time, right? And my clients in Minnesota are the most sharing, caring, giving group that I've seen. I'm sorry. I love people from everywhere, right? And I'm from everywhere and I'm not from Minnesota. No. But it's just one thing I've seen where they get together and they share. And they're like, there's plenty of business, for all of us. So I think it's no coincidence, actually, that, the panel that we have here today, it wasn't on purpose, but it's pretty crazy. So my hat's off to all of our clients in Minnesota. They are truly Minnesota nice. And there's never been a more important time to be caring and to be nice. So Robby, thank you, man. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
So with that said, I'd like to move on to, we could go to, who wants to go? You want to raise your hand? I can see you. Okay, Chris Waters. You got to unmute, buddy. Got to unmute. Unmute.
Okay.
There you go, brother. How are you?
Share my screen?
Yeah, you want to share it?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yes, here we go.
So good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can everybody see it?
Robby T posted, what were you hoping to do before all this craziness? That's a great question, man. I love that. Okay, Chris, you're on. We can see it.
Cool. So for those of you guys that don't know me, I got started in real estate in 2010. I was sleeping on my girlfriend's red IKEA couch. I had a bar and restaurant that failed in 2009, and I didn't have a lot of money to spend on lead generation. And I had the Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission calling me, like people you don't want to be calling you. And so I needed to make money really, really fast. And so, I was prospecting, cold calling, all those things, but it wasn't digging me out of the hole fast enough. And I wrote a book kind of about my journey. I'm happy to give this book for free to all the Ylopo customers. I'll figure out how to do that. But anyways,
that's awesome. About this call, you got a discount on BombBomb and you're getting a free, amazing, awesome book. I love it.
Yeah. So basically in 2010, I was 24, 25 years old. And in my first 3 years in real estate, I got in that third year to closing 100 million in sales, and did really, really well. And there's one specific thing that was really the lever that helped me explode in 2010. And I found out about this by accident because I had met a guy that owned a car dealership, and he also had owned investments in RV dealerships. And he started telling me about how RV dealerships, car dealerships, mattress stores, all these places that sell other people's products. You see them on radio, TV, billboard. They spend a ton of money, and they're getting something called co-op dollars from all these other vendors, like the banks they finance your mattress through, your car through, or whatever. And so in 2010, I started calling people up. I actually didn't call up a lender first. I called up a home warranty company, homeowners insurance company, a couple other people, and I was shocked how many people would be willing to work for me. how many people have seen on Instagram all these people in like bikinis and like guys flexing, and they got like the big protein thing, and they're like, yeah, let's buy my protein. And so like this has become a big thing in the last couple of years, and we've seen these supplement companies skyrocket by using people that aren't celebrities, but they're influencers in their own right. And so you guys can go research this now. The National Association of Realtors says that when a home sells, the average economic impact in your community is over $86,000. So back in 2010, I started researching like how many different local businesses that don't compete with one another, right? So like not going to 26 different lenders, but like how many different local businesses can I go partner with to help put in co-op dollars into my marketing? And at a time when the market's like getting tighter and people want to spend less money, what do you think people think about if you were to send them a message like, hey, what do you think about doing some joint marketing together and like share in on the costs? So I'll talk to you about some of the deliverables, like some of the very specific things we do for local businesses. So number one, social media posts. Like all of you guys have a Facebook page. Hopefully you've got engagement on there. Post about the local businesses that you recommend. Do live Facebook videos with those local businesses on your Facebook page. If you have, if you're using something like viral marketing or some kind of email tool like BombBomb, do an email blast to your database where you interview other local businesses and put this other local business owner that you like on the spotlight. Another thing we've done is we've taken all these different vendors that are like super passionate about their respective industry, and we've integrated them into our training program. So we're hiring agents, right? And like a lot of agents don't know about roofs or different tiles or flooring or whatever, carpet. So like we've actually integrated all these vendors into our training to help educate our agents to help them become market experts. Something else that like blew my mind is I had this moving company I worked with, and he told me he was paying $200 a month to get access to active listings in the MLS so he could direct mail them because there's a high probability of them moving. I was like, dude, would you give me $100 a month if I sent you the active listings? So some other things you can do is integrate these local businesses into your buyer and seller guides. You can have like a vendor list of people that you send out to clients during the option period when you've got negotiations specific to like inspection related things. And then like literally probably one of the coolest things I did. And so 2010, like literally I'm like sleeping on my girlfriend's couch, and I didn't have time or money to like host some like fancy mastermind. And like I called up, I got a homeowner's insurance guy on board. I got a contractor on board, like a GC, like handyman type guy, a roofing company. I got, they say homeowner's insurance and home warranty. And then I ended up getting a title company and a mortgage company later. But my first little mastermind, like we met at a breakfast taco place, and like, Napoleon Hill went around in a circle, like what's everybody's greatest strength and what's their greatest weakness, and each person was helping each other out. So like, the thing that we have as that's a massive value add to most small businesses is we know how to lead generate and convert leads better than anybody. So like you guys know sales scripting, objection handling, like think about what a plumber goes through, or like a roofing company. Like when somebody calls up, a lead calls up, right? Like their call to action is, oh, I'll give you a free estimate. And what do? They like show up, give them a free estimate, right? And then like leave. There's no like building rapport, like establishing themselves as an expert, differentiating themselves from the competition, right? And then like closing them. They just like literally drop off a piece of paper. So like imagine educating all these other local business owners on this amazing skill set all of us have picked up on through lead generation and lead conversion from working stuff like Ylopo. Imagine sharing that stuff with all the other local businesses in your community. So I got a little practical exercise for all 600-700 people, and I want to challenge you right now. Get on your cell phone, open up your cell phone right now, and I want you to open up your text message, and I want you to text, send 5 text messages. That's it. 5 text messages, 5 different people you do business with that are like kind of like in your sphere, like maybe your go-to roofing guy or go-to general contractor, or like maybe it's a lender or title company or homeowners insurance guy. Like there's so many people we touch as agents. Like we're literally ambassadors to a lot of other local businesses. So I want you to send this text on the slide deck, send this to 5 different people. And then I'd love for you to comment in the chat box. And I want to know what kind of response. Like people, like I know some people might like Robby's been talking about mindset. A lot of people are talking about mindset. Like, you may be thinking all the reasons why this doesn't work, but like, there's a lot of people cutting their advertising spend. So if you're willing to like go in half C with somebody else, like that's a huge value add. And like, small businesses still need to keep generating business. So anyways, do that on your phone right now. Five people. The last little nugget I'm going to share with you guys. This was released on Facebook 72 hours ago. Facebook has got a grant. Literally, you don't have to pay it back, for $100 million. So I've got a link in the little speaker section here. I can put this in a chat thing or whatever you want me to do, Howard. But you can go online and apply now. You apply now, and then Facebook's going to send you an email. They're going to begin the application process in the coming days, and they're going to select 30,000 small to medium businesses to get access to this $100 million. And this is something you don't have to pay back. So, Howard, if I don't know, if anybody wants, I asked my, this is my,
so Kiwi, I know you're listening. So we got, 3 to-dos. Chris, our community, on behalf of our community, I can't thank you enough to offer this book to everyone in the Ylopo community. It's amazing act of caring and kindness. So Kiwi, number 1, let's post, talk to Chris, let's post how people can get the book, because people are already chatting, they want the book. Let's post the link to the $100 million grant. And of course, we'll post the copy of the slide deck and all decks. So, Chris, I can't thank you enough, man. We already got a request that they want you on stage at the next live Ylopo Success Summit, whatever that is. How crazy is it? I was literally like, that was my last bit of travel before I was like, no more travel. And I was in Scottsdale, and I was down in 3 resorts, and everyone knows I've been like talking to all these resorts. I've been on 3 resorts going to proposal stage for the live Ylopo Success Summit. And I'm like, okay. let's hold off on that one, right? But we will do it. We'll be there again. We had 425 last year. I guarantee you we're going to be 1,000 this year. Chris, you're going to have to join us on stage. Everybody here is going to join us on stage. There's no doubt about it. I wanted to mention from the chat, before we move on here, I want to mention from the chat, people are having huge success already with the coronavirus videos. I hate to call them that. But the special coronavirus diva ads, Duncan Burns was like, it's soaring. And then we had somebody else who was like, I forgot who that was. They said they already had 550 views on
Michael Baird.
Michael Baird, yeah, already have 550 views on the direction video. So, that's another thing we're going to have to post in the Ylopo Success community and get out to everybody. They all want access to those videos. They want to know how to use them. So that's something else that we're definitely going to do. Chris, thanks, man. That was rockstar. That was awesome. Okay, raise your hand. Who's fired up? Who wants to go right now? First, Bjorkman, do it. And then Bernier. Bjorkman, then Bernier. Let's do it. All right, Mike Bjorkman.
You guys are pumping me up. Thank you so much. This has been a crazy week, and all the sensitive and authentic and genuine stuff. Totally right. That's the way we've been talking to all of our clients this week. And what's really funny is they are reaching out to me by the dozens a day saying, what's going to happen with the real estate market? So when we're reaching out to people, we're saying, hey, listen, we're here to help. We're here to donate. We're here to deliver. We're here to do whatever you want. And when they ask about the market, say, we just don't know. But what we do have is the technology to keep you informed. So until this ends, if you want to watch the houses go up and down, we have a free Sellers Market Watch program that's going to help you. And they love it. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I can't call you every day, but I can email you every day. You know what I mean? I'm going to go really quick to the screen, and I'm going to jump on. I know I have a bunch of slides here. I'm going to go through it in 3 seconds. So I've been listing property off Zoom since Zoom came out. I used to list property off of GoToMeeting. And the reason I did in 2007, when I started my big property management company, I was talking to people all over the world. So I figured out how to give listing presentations and bond with people over video. And then when Zoom came out, they just dumbed that down. It was so much easier. And a lot of people just go, how do you list homes over Zoom? And right now what we should really be calling it is a seller's consultation. Let's go over the market. Have them watch you set up the market watch. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just kind of wanted to start with how this all got started and how we've been on, hundreds of Zooms in the last couple of weeks. But it's very time sensitive, right? Like we don't get our time back. And I wanted to talk about 3 quick things: the technical part of it, the idea behind it, the scripts, what to go over when you do it, how do I close, and then what happens. And the tech part is really important when we talk about Zoom. You need to make Zoom your own world. You have to have the webinar version. Don't get just the meeting version. The webinar version has a lot of other bonuses involved. And make the meeting ID your cell phone. You can make the meeting ID personal to you. And that way, if people can't quite figure it out and it says, what's the meeting ID, they remember it's your cell phone. The custom URL, it's just zoomwithmikeb.com. And a lot of people haven't got the URLs yet, so you're very lucky. You can get zoomwithhoward.com, zoomwithbarry.com. And people don't get so confused and like tripped out over it. The Chrome extension is really important. So you can just launch real quick at any time. Matter of fact, I leave mine open most of the time and people know to come in and chit chat with me, whether it's my team or whether it's our clients. They just come right in, and sometimes they interrupt other appointments, and that's fine too. But every single person on the team should have a Zoom account, especially now. Like John Cheplek has the greatest 8-minute podcast that you guys all should look at on video. And he describes why video is so important. And 55% of people's reaction and action is based on your body language, right? So how are you going to do that on the phone? But it's really interesting to watch how people react when you're on video instead of talking to on the phone. Learn to go live. I go live in about 5 or 6 Facebook groups a day, communicate with all my coaching clients, communicate with my clients, communicate with my community groups. The tech department at Zoom is awesome, and their library for training is awesome. And of course, we're trying to save time doing this. We want to see if our clients are serious. And this is back to before Corona, right? We're just talking about listing over the Zoom. We want to see how serious they are. We want to ask them if they're shopping other agents. We want to see if they're nice people, because if they're ding-dongs, we don't want to work with them, right? We could just hit end meeting if we have to. We want to get the intel on all their concerns. So if you do have a face-to-face meeting, you're ready to go to battle. Show off how awesome you are. People are like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, you're giving me a whole presentation over the computer. And then do things that other agents can or won't, right? We want to stand out. Let me go to the scripts. It's really simple too. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or Mr. or Mrs. Smith, there's only 3 things you really need to worry about when you're listing your home. First, most important thing is price. Second of all is the agent and which firm is going to market your property. And you know what? Let's have a quick meeting, maybe on your lunch break or when you get home from work. Let me go through some of the marketing, but more importantly, let's see if we're a good fit, because we're gonna have to work together for probably 30, 60, 90 days. Does that make sense? Cool. And then of course, I'd love to come by if they say, why don't you want to come to my house? So I'd love to come by. I just want to get a little information so I could be properly prepared when I get there, right? And then if it looks good, can we move forward? So what we need to go over, ask them their situation. Why are you moving? When do you have to be there? Blah, blah, blah. Go over your team, go over your theme, go over the high points of your marketing presentation, and go over my favorite thing in the world. My most successful thing is 21 questions to ask an agent when you're interviewing. And then after that, ask for the commitment. So what I want to do now is I want to show you how cool our Ylopo websites are and how you can customize these things. So when you click on sell on my Ylopo website, I just go down to marketing strategy and I'm screen sharing with them, right? So it's really simple. We just load my awesome marketing girl, Deanna, who's watching this. She loads up our listing presentation. This listing presentation is courtesy of James Wong from Maxa. We could not go through life without James. And I just simply say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm gonna take you through what a real process of selling your home is. And I just flip through it, and I spend a lot of time on Arial. I spend a lot of time on Matterport. And I spend a lot of time on Ylopo right here. And I talk to them, I show them the difference on how I've been marketing their property months and months and months before they've ever freaking called me. As a matter of fact, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, watch this. I can show you exactly how many buyers are looking for your home at this time, right now, active buyers. Has any other agent been able to show you that, right? So you get through this whole thing, and you could take as long or as little as you want. And we just go through, we show them our sold properties to get them like, hey, wow. We go through a couple more steps with them. And then we get down to the 21 questions, and I go through these questions with them, and all I'm doing is explaining to them how I'm the right agent for them, and it blows their mind. And by the time we're done, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, based on what you've seen today, do you feel comfortable and confident knowing I'm the right agent? And then we go into really simple scripts like, what did the other agents show you, or what did the other agents tell you where your price should be? And most of the time they're right on the money. And if they're not, we let me go back to the whoa, I don't want to share that. Sorry about that. Most of the time I got this control bar in my way. But most of the time, the people are really excited by that time. They can't believe the technology. They can't believe the caring. They can't believe the bonding. And they say, oh, this is the price these other 3 agents. And I said, fantastic. I'll take your listing at any price you're comfortable with. And then, you know what, Mr. and Ms. Smith, once you've made this commitment to me, I can go spend a couple hours on an appraisal, go in homes, video them for you, blah, 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 blah. And that's how I list homes over Zoom. Most of the time, they leave a key under the mat. My assistant docu-signs them the listing agreement, and it's that simple. I've been doing that for years and years and years. And I started out doing it over the phone, so video just made it that much simpler. But in today's market, today, like what we're talking about in the next 90 days or maybe longer, we don't know. But when we're talking to clients like this, and just those scripts are so good. After this is all over, where do you want to be? And one thing you said, Howard, that was key was wake-up call. This was a wake-up call, not only for me, but my wife, a lot of people in this community and people across the country. They're like, you know what? Maybe it is time once we get through this to retire. Maybe it is time to go do some things that I like. Maybe it is time to move down. It doesn't matter what it is. And I'm just simply saying, look, why don't we work as a team? I'll set you up for the Market Watch program. We'll see these together. We'll discuss when the time is right for you. We'll make a move, right? And the buyers should be doing the same thing. I get you're scared, but hey, guess what? I'll set you up on a Market Watch program. As homes come on the market and off-market properties come on the market, we'll communicate. Hey, we can't just watch the news all day long. We love talking about real estate, so maybe it'll take our minds off of it together. Wouldn't that be great? And we could move down the path like that. So when we use Ylopo and our marketing and how we tie it all together with technology, not only are you blowing their minds, but you're authentic and genuine. They could see you really care, and you're building a relationship that can't be broken by another agent if you do this right. That was that for 5 minutes. Did I do it?
Mike, that was awesome. I mean, it just delivered. You really delivered, dude. It was really, really amazing. You know, one of the things when you said, you know, sort of earlier on, which is, you know, that obviously the power of making that video connection. So one of the things that I do really with a lot of my friends and family, what I noticed is I'm like huge on like FaceTime video calls. And when I call them on FaceTime video, they never answer. They never answer, right? Very rare. However, when I call them, they answer. And then I'll be like, I know it may not be an appropriate time for you, but do you mind? Can we switch to FaceTime video? Because it's so easy, right? You can just hit the FaceTime, it converts, right? And so there's an idea there, you know, not like an initial, when you're in the initial relationship building with a consumer, right? But when you start getting to that point where you're weaving your magic and you're asking them questions, you're listening to their story, they're telling you their story. Maybe it's the second conversation, but you're starting to, you know, they're really starting to feel comfortable with you. Look, at some point you can say, look, I'd love to, right now, we're all locked down. I'd love to still meet you. Is this an okay time? Do you mind if we go FaceTime video? And try that, guys. Just try that and make the connection and be sensitive. Like, it may not be, right? You know, maybe in the pajamas or whatever it is, and say, hey, and it's fine. It could be next time, but I'd love to meet you in person and let's do that, right? So, Mike, so many nuggets, so many ideas, and we really appreciate
I've only FaceTimed with you. I don't think we've ever spoken. I've only FaceTimed with you. I don't think we've spoken on the phone.
The funniest thing is that every single time we FaceTime with Mike, he's half naked. He's shaving in the shower. He's coming out of the hot tub. Dude, you're a legend, man. We love you. So we appreciate you. Thanks. You're a very sexy man. That's why it's good you're always half naked. Okay, guys, who's itching to go? Oh, we got Mike Bernier. Yeah, you're up, bud.
Okay, so first off, the half-naked Bjorkman, you haven't had him message you from the toilet like I have. That's really a pleasure.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, first off, this has been amazing, guys.
This is the shake my head emoji. Shake my head.
It's been amazing content here today, and we're getting to the point in the panel. I think a lot of what we're going to say is kind of redundant, and I want to try to keep away from some of the redundancies, or at least recap them quickly. I think based on the specific situation we're dealing with here, one thing I'm having a lot of our agents do, ironically, we started a book in our book club here at the office called EQ 2.0, which is really about emotional intelligence. And I think that's something right now that we really got to focus on. Now, we've already covered this, so I don't want to go in huge detail about it, but trying to overcome people's objections and plow through and bully them to go do things they're not comfortable with is probably a really bad idea right now. And I'm watching agents do this, like a lot, which is bad. So another thing too that I want to say is, aside from the virus, the other thing that's contagious is fear and panic. If your clients are hearing you panic, and if your agents are hearing you panic, what do you think they're going to do? So first thing you got to do is calm yourself and get to a point that you can have a rational discussion. Now, also recognize that there's two different
issues. Dude, I got to pop in there for a second. I kind of had a bad moment like yesterday. Just kind of things were, I've a lot of responsibilities, like family, friends, employees, associates, business partners, clients. There's just, it was all of a sudden, I was like positive. Like the weight of the world just kind of crashed on me yesterday. We're going to have those moments. And I did some things. I spoke to a friend who I knew I wanted to speak to. And the other weird thing, and you guys should all find your thing, but I never have time, like super, super busy. But like during this kind of lockdown, I started cooking a little bit. It's really weird. And so last night I just cooked up this giant pot of Italian sauce goodness, and it relaxed me like you can't believe. It was just so therapeutic and so relaxing. So Mike, what you're saying is you got to heal yourself sometimes first, get in that right mindset. You're first when you feel like you're going to where all of us as humans will go, so that you can then go back to lead and to act and to care. So
and that's what we're really doing. We're really talking about leadership. And whether you're a team leader, a broker, or just an agent, you're still a leader. You're leading your clients, you're leading your lenders, like you're leading people through this process. And we got to step up to that. Number one. The other thing I was going to say too is we have to recognize it's not business as usual. It's really business is unusual right now. We have to be open to change, and we have to be open to what's coming. Wayne Gretzky said it, I think, he doesn't skate to where the puck is, he skates to where the puck is going. So we got to start looking at what do we do for best practices right now? And what's the silver lining in all this? So up to this point, I think a lot of agents have focused they've been reactive. They've actually been kind of lazy because it's been easier to get business. We have to recognize now it's going to be a little bit harder. So, the silver lining is we're able to be home, lock down, work on your business, work on the things that you've been avoiding working on all this time. Work on your systems, work on your processes, work on database management, work on the things that you've been avoiding. Take time to actually do a real SWOT analysis of your business and go through your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. Spend time doing that. Also look at what opportunities exist and what's changing. For those, and Barry brought up 2008, you guys might remember the old days we had short sale certifications and things of that nature, and a lot of us made a lot of money. Well, go where the puck is going. If there's going to be any economic change, if things are going to shift, look where the opportunity is going. Look at short sales. Look at iBuyer. If you don't have an iBuyer program right now, we haven't talked about this yet, that's going to crush it right now, because it's going to be less people into homes, instant offers on the table, and even if somebody doesn't take the iBuyer offer, it opens the door up for further conversations around listings. Look at FSBOs. Up to this point right now, FSBOs have been overly successful because the market's been so good. Well, is that going to change in the upcoming weeks? Are we putting processes in to have those FSBO conversations that we've been not having up till now? So we've got to go back we got to go forward looking at what might change and get ahead of it instead of behind it. Now, Ylopo's got some amazing opportunities and technologies to do so. And you're right, you can change the way that you engage with buyers and sellers in houses. As a listing agent, perhaps you make everybody watch your Matterport, not you make, but if the seller's more comfortable, maybe you make everybody watch your Matterport presentation before they come into the house to make sure they still want to. Maybe you're only allowing one person at a time in the house. There's conversations you can have. What I loved about what Barry said about your whole rent back, what do you call it in your state, Barry, where a seller rents back from a buyer for a while?
Seller possession agreement. Also, since I'm unmuted, I ended up cooking a big dinner last night too, Howard, and it had the same result.
So I'm surprised Howard's making it without ordering 9-course meals. You ever eat with Howard? It's like it just comes out, and I don't know how he's doing it right now. So anyway, what I was saying is what Barry did, and I think this is super important, is separating the issue of the virus. Don't push people that are concerned and have fears of the virus. Don't push them there. let them be. Let them, they're not comfortable, don't go there. But if their fears are economic or logistical, can you talk through that and solve their problem?
SIP, Alex Montalvo, seller in possession after the closing of escrow. Seller in possession.
There you go. We call it a rent back here. So anyway, can you find problems or solutions to their problems? Right now, so many people are focused on the problems, not the solutions. We got to switch it now and start focusing on the solutions. And beyond that, I would say start putting together networks. Like if you know, investors may be coming out. If prices drop, if listings hit the market, do we have investors? Do we have hard money lenders? Are we focusing on where this may be going? I think agents right now need to see that we are putting things in action. Like the lack of action, when people shut down, that's creating the problem. Just taking action is going to make you feel better and make your agents feel better. And that, last but not least, for those that are team leaders, agents and brokers, agents are moving right now. And they're unsettled, they're moving around. This is a time that if you're not recruiting or haven't been, this is a time to double down on your recruiting efforts and pick up good agents, because right now it's key. So those are my main talking points right there. I went through it as fast to try to save time, and I don't want to be really redundant over everything we've already said.
No, I appreciate it, man. You were spot on. You know, just yeah. I mean, you know, you're in the field. You guys are performing at a high level. We know that you're an amazing leader. You're giving this guidance to a super huge team. What are you, like 500 agents right now?
Yeah, 500 agents. I'll tell you this much too, Howard. We have not seen a noticeable slowdown in business. So a lot of this is perception of what may happen. Right now, we're still doing transactions every single day.
Yeah, that's a huge theme. So we're going to get to two folks right now who I know are doing transactions. Damon, are you ready to jump on? Thank you, Mike. That was awesome.
Yep.
So Damon really inspired me. He basically, you know, saw the opportunity. He saw the stats. He saw everybody home. And I think you like tripled your marketing budget.
Yeah, tripled everything.
What's that?
Tripled everything.
Tripled everything. So this is, you know, one of my most fearless clients. Damon, it was great. You and I, you know, down at that conference, we were able to for the first time ever, really just get to talk for a while. We spent like an hour together, which was awesome, man. Because I didn't really, you know, we've been at conferences and stuff together, but just to get to know you in person was great. So you got the floor, brother.
So yeah, Mike Novak touched on earlier. You know, everybody's flipping out, everybody's freaking out, and some of it I understand, some of it I don't, because like Bernier just said, we're selling houses. I mean, we're slinging houses faster than we were same time last year. Like last year, first quarter sucked. This year, first quarter, I mean, we're slinging houses. We sold, we're a small team, sold 11 houses in the last 8 days. We've had 8 listing leads, listed all 8 of them. And just so everybody knows, because everybody's talking about the market sucks or whatnot, we listed 7 of the 8 at 8%, and we kept 5. So that's the market we're in. But everything still happens, y'all. Babies are being born. People are getting divorced. Nobody's putting off a divorce. People are passing away. Job transfers. All that stuff's still happening. And there's so many people. I think real estate agents are one of the worst online of buying into this hype of the end of the world. This is 9/11. This is a 9/11 type. It's a virus that is going to run its course, and then it's over. It's not like 2007, and everybody wants to compare 2007, 2008. That was 4 or 5 years of irresponsible lending, irresponsible appraisals, market gone bad, multiple bad decisions that led up to a long recession. The only thing that's going to make this bad is if this lasts for months. But this is just situational. So we tripled our budgets. Our agents are selling houses. My office is full every single day. My agents come in. If we do get quarantined, we're going to prospect like hell. And at the end of it, our pipelines are going to be jam-packed, because at the end, the pent-up demand for housing is not going away, okay? We have a shortage of houses. We have an overabundance of buyers. That's not changing.
And low interest rates for a long time. So
that's the message I'm putting out on social media every day. I do on Facebook Live. We have the lowest interest rates in the history of the world, okay? The history of the world. None of that's changing. All right. And so if we get quarantined, if whatever happens, when we come out of it, the agents that actually work their ass off during this time are going to have such a big pipeline coming out of it. And look, I hope some agents leave the business. I hope we lose 10, 15% of the agents. I think everybody on this call would like to lose a little bit of competition and have more business when we come out of it. But I don't get the hype of the stress of why everybody thinks this is the end of the world. Most great agents, most good agents have been looking for a downturn. Here it is. Take advantage of it.
All right, man. Yeah, we hear you. I mean, I think the same thing. People ask me all the time, and look, I only know what I know, and I'm not necessarily right. But I have, my job, right? My job is to always look around the corner. That's my job. It's been my job since the beginning of Ylopo, is to look around the corner. And I can't tell you how long it's going to last. I mean, there's predictions all over the place. And I can tell you that it's different of anything I've lived through before. 87 crash, 2000 dot-com bust, 2008, 9/11. I've been through all of it. What's different about this one is this involves stopping human-to-human contact, physical contact, for a period of time that we don't know. And that's what's different than all the rest. But once we come out of that, and once we go back to normal human-to-human contact, Damon's spot on. There was no underlying, look, I was predicting a mild to, medium recession anyway. You have to be, right? 10-year bull run in stocks, 10-year bull run in real estate. But, I built my last business during the Great Recession, right? Those are times of opportunity for all of us. This is very, very different. This is a completely different deal. But I can tell you, it will be over. It will be over at some point. And all of you that are on this call that are doing the right things now, right? What we do now will echo for eternity. You are going to be positioned for massive success. Damon, thank you so much. That was spot on. That was awesome. Mike Bernier, you want to pop in on something?
I do, because one thing I wish I would have said, and Damon touched on it, and I think this is one of the most important takeaways we can all have. We talked about mindset earlier, but I want to really pull this one piece out. The difference between having a mindset of abundance and scarcity. Agents right now are gravitating towards scarcity. When if you're really building, what Damon said, he's talked about building your pipeline. If your pipeline's huge, because your practices and your systems to build your pipeline are big and your opportunity is abundant, even if you lose half of it, you're still in business and doing great. We have to really focus on building the pipeline and having that abundance mindset, because guess what? We're not going to have everything work out. Not everybody we start with is going to close. We're going to have deals fall apart. But that abundant pipeline is what's going to really bring us through. So I think that's a huge piece we don't want to overlook.
Awesome.
Hey, Howard.
Yes.
One thing I want to interject, the people on this panel are people that for years other agents have respected, have followed, listened to, and, I love the t-shirts that, talk about success being overnight and the myth of that. And I think what we're seeing right now is successful people that have worked through challenges, and they're still working through challenges, and they continue to overcome. And if we'll just adopt that mindset, we can actually have incredible opportunity in the midst of a challenge. And so, when you look at these people, all of them, their heads are shaking. Yes, they're like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And that's why they're successful. And I just wanted to highlight that for everybody watching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate you. Damon, that was absolutely awesome. So let's go to Grant Johnson.
How you doing, Howard?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. So how is business, Grant?
Like Mike said, we haven't seen a change yet. And like Damon said, well, this week we've already sold 6 homes. We're putting 4 new ones on the market this weekend. We're not seeing a slowdown yet. And I believe what everybody's saying, I don't want to be redundant on what everybody's saying. I lived through 2008. And I don't know how many people know it, but I basically went bankrupt in 2008 because of that crash. This is not going to be like that. We're going to come out of it. Build your pipeline now. It is all mindset. One of my agents told me today, she goes, I can either sit on the sideline and do nothing, or I can be in the game. People still need to buy and sell homes. And everybody's given some great tips here, but seriously, it's not come down to your mindset. And I know you want to get to Q&A too. So
Okay, keep going. We got 2 more presenters.
So, but just shift your mindset. Be positive. Keep going. Whatever is working for you, double down. If it's more leads, a bigger pipeline, just keep doing it. You'll be fine. You'll come out the other side. You'll be fine.
What are your numbers now, Grant? So like how many Ylopo deals you guys doing, or deals? What's going on?
So far this year, we're at 67 pending and closed. And last year we only did 130. So we were way ahead of pace. Ylopo right now is about, I think it's 21 of those 67.
So a third. Cool.
It's just a follow-up for us.
So Grant, I think you and I have had this conversation before too, and it probably applies, and I think you do this. But now everybody's kind of really being forced to look at their business practice too, to figure out, I mean, how many agents are spending $50 here, $50 there, $100 here, and things are not even using, things that are bringing them no ROI. Like, this is a time where it's going to force people to really buckle down, take a look at what is bringing in a return, and double down, triple down, quadruple down on the things that actually make the money. So I think you and I have had that conversation before too.
Yeah, and I actually slashed our budget by almost $2,000 a month this week by things that were not making us any money. But I spent another $1,000 on Ylopo this week too.
Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. Because now it's like you're going to take a look at that, because if the market's going to shift at all, you know, now it's time to really look at our business as a business, not just, you know, let it ride because we're making money. Making money can be one of the worst things you can do for your success, because it's hiding all these places you're losing money.
Yeah, and you and I lived through this in 2008. It was no different. We had a brokerage of over 200 agents at the time. We had just signed a 10-year lease at $30,000 a month for the space, right when the crash happened. We had to slash everything then. I'm not saying slash all your expenses now, but double down on what works. Howard's muted.
You're muted, Howard.
Okay, we're gonna go. Sorry, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks, Grant. Thanks, Mike. We're gonna go to Noelle, and then batting cleanup is gonna be Tristan A. Let's go, Noelle N. How are you doing, Noelle?
Do you know how hard it is for me to sit silent for almost 2 hours?
Yes, as hard as it is for me to sit silent. I haven't been. So anyway, yes, I do know. I do understand.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and just talk about what I have been doing up until this point to even be sitting in this panel with all of these amazing, amazing agents. And that is video. Like, anybody that recognizes my face recognizes it because I blast my video on Facebook and all forms of social media. It's what I've been doing for several years now. In fact, about 2 years ago, I ended up leaving where I was at because I was told by the broker at the time that video was not ever going to go anywhere and it was dead. And I had a different feeling about it. And now I am in this position where I feel like video is going to save the day in this circumstance. Video is going to keep us in front of our spheres. Video is going to allow us to show homes. Video is going to allow us to get in front of sellers. What Mike Bjorkman was talking about with the Zoom, that if you're not using Zoom, if you're not using this, get on it. That is so important. And what I want to encourage everybody is get comfortable in front of the camera. I got a call from Howard like 20 minutes before this thing started. I'm in my yoga gear and I didn't fix my hair today, ladies, and it's gonna be okay because I have a message to say about video. And you know, this is the thing. You all just need to get comfortable with video. And I've been preaching this for a while. So Tristan, who is also on this panel, and I would love to invite you all, if you're not a part of our new video page. We have a video page through Labco Agents, which is also loves Ylopo. We heavily support Ylopo with Labco Agents. We have a new page, Labco Agents Viral Video, and it's all things video. And you're going to go in there and you're going to see a lot of community happening right now amongst realtors that are promoting video and promoting video in the community. In fact, yesterday, I went out with one of my fellow agents and we went into a restaurant, which You're not even supposed to be in restaurants right now. They closed all restaurants in Minnesota. You can still do takeout, but we took my videographer, we went into this restaurant, and this restaurant owner has now decided that he's going to give away meals to all of the restaurant workers, and he needed to get that message out. So it was a way that I could give back with my video staff, and we went and filmed this video, and within one day, not even boosted, it's had 10,000 views, almost 200 shares. You know, if you're giving a message out there to the community and you're trying to reach out there and be supportive of what's happening with other local businesses, that's one of the primary ways that you're going to be able to get in front of Newsphere in this moment. And using video with Ylopo, Diva, I'm about ready to take the plunge with trying to customize it, Howard. It's a no-brainer because you're putting your face with your name, you're introducing yourself to these strangers, and if you come from a place of authenticity and you're genuine about the message that you're giving people, they're going to resonate with that, and they're going to pick you over the stranger whose name they didn't recognize. So that's kind of my spiel. I want to encourage you all, use video. There's another way. Nobody has really talked about it yet, I don't think, but Marco Polo. We use a ton of Marco Polo. Did you talk about Marco Polo, Mike? Okay.
No, I'm laughing. We have very funny sort of Marco Polo story.
Don't Marco Polo with Mike Bjorkman. If you're new at it, it will turn you off to my, no, I'm just kidding. So Mike and I kind of team up. We use Marco Polo we're in two totally different areas. We use Marco Polo like we're sitting in the same room with each other every single day. And it's a way to stay, if you're a team leader or a broker or anybody that's got other agents that you're trying to keep connected and keep in the game, Marco Polo is a fabulous way.
So let me explain technically why. And I'm really glad you brought that up, Noelle. That's a really, really great tip for everybody who's not using it. So when I was talking before about like, hey, at some point try to shift from the phone call to the FaceTime video to get that synchronous video communication. Marco Polo is asynchronous. So it's not real time, it's asynchronous video communication. And what's important about Marco Polo, like, oh, we need another piece of video technology. Well, what's different about it is you don't know when you're going to catch someone. So we take what everyone on the panel is saying, which is video is important, personalize yourself, try to get them to personalize themselves. Video transcends, right? Transcends just the voice or just text. So I will send, right? I can send, Mike Bernier a Marco Polo, which we do. And he's busy, super busy guy, right? And literally it could be that night when he's catching up on stuff, he sees my Marco Polo, it plays, sees the video, he responds, sends me a video. Maybe I'm sleeping or something, right? Different time zones, whatever it is. And then I'll see it the next day. Now I can respond. So it's an asynchronous video communication. And try it out with your friends and family first. Get good at it with your friends and family first. There it is.
I'll do a live demo of it. So it's just this app. It opens up. It's super simple to use. And I'm going to live Mike Bjorkman on here. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Are you stuck inside? Did you get outside today? Did you get that shower like I told you to get yesterday? How are you doing? And then you hit it and he gets it live. And then he responds to me in a message back. And it's the most, like I told you to get yesterday. How are you doing?
And you can swipe to fast forward her.
Yeah, he usually fast forwards me.
Yeah, and you can put it on fast. Yeah, and you can make the video faster. So Kelly just said it works great for buyers and out of state people on different schedules, as we said. So lots of different uses, guys. Check it out. All right. So now and thank you so much, Noelle. That was awesome. We know that you're an amazing expert when it comes to video. And so just really, really honored to have you in our community and being a leader. We'll certainly at our next summit have you talk about video.
Bernier is raising his hand.
Of course he is. What's up, Mike?
So even though we're not quite a question and answer, I'm trying to sneak one in real quick on behalf of everybody. Noelle, since you do so much video and people are so hesitant to do it, can you give a few tips to put you on the spot, how people should get started if they're super uncomfortable?
Yes. One of the ways that I started was just by using my phone which I know it's going to feel uncomfortable, but these phones are amazing. And then I'm weird. I eat and drink a lot on camera because it's just how I am normally. And then I eat the same things and drink the same things. And it started branding myself. Like when people see combos, they think of me right away. Like most people know what my favorite kind of combo is. But pick something that's natural to you that you love doing. Like, are you a fisherman? Do you love hiking? Whatever. And take your people with you on that thing. Like, do that thing and just use Marco Polo to practice. Like, add 2 or 3 friends that you don't mind if they see you looking like a fool. Start using that practice. Once you're comfortable, hit that live button and have 3 things that you go live with. That's usually my thing.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Noelle, you killed it. We love it. All right. I think we've been through everybody except for the man, the myth, the legend, Tristan Ahumada. Dude, how are you doing?
What's up, buddy? How's everybody doing out there? Good, good. All right. So, Noelle, awesome. Can you do me a favor and post a link to the group, because there's a couple of people asking, and then I'll rapidly get through this so that
we posted in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. All right. Is it okay if I share a short presentation?
Sure.
All right. Sweet. All right. So, Howard's right. Over the weekend, I took the time to create clarity for me and for the industry. And Howard was one of the people that I reached out to among like 8 different CEOs, and then a few best-selling authors and a few other executives across different tech companies across the world. And believe it or not, I mean, it's probably easy to believe, but Howard is actually one of the smartest people I talk to. And so I want to give props to him, because I do get to hang out with a lot of smart people. And we're all blessed to have Howard, because he's a pretty brilliant guy. And I think when it comes to hard times like this, it's cool to know that we can have somebody like that lead our industry. So Howard, thank you, man.
I always say I'm only smart because I surround myself with smarter people, like my partner G and Dr. J and Kiwi and everyone else here and yourself. So, you know, that's the only reason I'm smart. Surround myself with smarter folks like this panel. But anyway, thank you, Tristan.
Agreed.
And the $10 check is in the mail.
Yeah, bud. I'm gonna get it soon. I'll use it on In and Out. Anyway, so what I found is that a lack of clarity is creating the chaos that we're in, and a lot of the frustration. And it's up to us as agents to be able to bring some of that clarity, even though we don't have it. And when I talk to a lot of these leaders in the industry, the one thing that they did own was uncertainty. They were all clear with everyone that, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen next, but they owned it. And they said, let's figure out what solutions we can bring to the table. And I love that. And so one of the things that I want to talk to you about was this morning I had a conversation with one of our sellers. We just took a listing for 1.3 million in Thousand Oaks, and we had a conversation with the seller, and they asked this, and it's a common question that everyone is asking across the nation. It's, well, what's happening with buyers and sellers? And so knowing that question, because everyone is asking that, we have to be prepared to answer that and say, well, look, here's what's happening. And one of the things that we've done is over the last few days, we now created a 7-day rolling period of this. We are now tracking just listed every single day, pendings and solds. This way, we're creating a graph to see how the market is changing every day. And we're prepared to be able to give this to our sellers and buyers, because every area is different. And the more information you have, the better. So let me get through this here. This you can see over the last 50 years, the 30-year mortgage rates have moved in unison with the 10-year treasury rate. And it's important to use this information to be able to show our clients, hey, look, buyers are still going to be out there. It's just going to take more on our part, more effort to find those ones that are ready to buy now, whether it's people that are having divorces, people that have family members that died, or people that have to move or sell. And so this is important to look through. Again, here you can take a look at interest rates over the last few months, over the last year and a half. And I mean, just up until last 2 weeks, the interest rates were incredibly low. And you have to put that in people's faces so that they know that there are still opportunities.
Yeah,
right?
Tristan, I'm glad you showed that because, you know, like, look, rates can tick up a point on any given day. They can tick down a point. They can, right? But especially for first-time buyers, what you need to explain to them, what they don't understand is it doesn't matter whether interest rates are 3.5% or 4%, 4.5%, down to 3.5%. Like historically, when you go start really going back in time, as you've shown, cost of capital is cheap and will be cheap, right? I mean, our parents were paying what, 11%, 12%, right?
Well, dude, look at this, man. That's exactly right. 12% in the 80s, 90s, 8%, 6%. It's still insanely low. And they're estimated to go even lower over the next few weeks or months. So just showing people the difference in payments creates opportunity that they don't see. And it's our job as professionals to be able to translate that for them, right? So you can see here, annual home price appreciation. Here's a perfect graph to show leading up to what we call now the Great Recession, how the appreciation of prices was happening in comparison to the last 6 years. And one of the people that I talked to, which was Howard over the weekend, he said, hey, look, man, we've got a stable economy. The unemployment is low. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with our economy. So as soon as we see a turnaround from this, the market's going to skyrocket. And people need to understand that the more listings you build up now, the more clients that you talk to now, the more opportunity you're going to have as soon as this turns around, because it's going to be a sharp curve up, or even more like a straight line, slight curve. Here's what Lawrence Yun said, chief economist of NAR. He just said this a few days ago, and pretty much exactly what Howard told me. Another smart guy here. You could just copy that, go to NAR, grab it. It's just saying that, look, during the last recession, real estate was on about wobbly ground. We don't have that right now. This is the message that the consumer needs to hear, and it needs to come from us. Right here, you can see again, recession versus housing crisis. You can see what happened in 1991, 2008. Just because we hear the word recession doesn't mean it equals a housing crisis. And over on the right, that's the type of verbiage you want to give to the consumer. It says, look, many experts predict a potential recession, but housing will not be the trigger, and this will not be a repeat of 2008. In fact, home values will likely still continue to appreciate. And this gives you an opportunity to show them exactly what can happen by showing them facts, right? You're creating clarity so that there's no chaos, right? It's our job to do that. Here, NAR released something just a few days ago. I can put up the link. If we click on this, it takes you to their whole thing on the things that we need to do as agents. You can just Google this, Coronavirus, a guide for realtors. I can put up the link here as well. And then let's talk about Facebook, what we need to do on Facebook. Here are some great ideas. You see Kyle Whistle, you know Kyle Whistle. He's doing a thing called Quarantine Conversation with Kyle Whistle, an opportunity for us to explain how the market is working, what we need to do, how things are working in real estate and mortgages, so that people understand that things are still going on. Property is still selling, whether it's buyers buying or sellers selling. Another opportunity, Nikki Klein, a friend of mine, she does great with Facebook communities. It's a great opportunity to create Facebook groups right now. Not only something like she did, which is social distancing together, which I thought was funny and great. Another friend of mine created an education group to show parents what to teach their kids, curriculums to create. It's an opportunity to come together where everybody's online right now on social. Why not create communities, right? And here, when you go on Facebook Live, I suggest you do it through your business page, because you can go on there with the click of a button, and now Facebook allows you to add captions. It takes you a second. So this way, people are watching online a lot. You can have them read it if they're having to be in a place where they can't turn up the volume. But lives, go live, create watch parties, and then whatever you do, download it and use it on Instagram, on IGTV, use it on, if you're on TikTok, use TikTok, use it on YouTube. Just a lot of opportunities to be able to use this. Here's the tech that you need right now. I put it all in one place for you. The things that I thought were really important. Obviously, Ylopo. We use them a lot. Google PPC, we've been testing that out. Facebook, lead ads, and now with their Diva, and then HomeBot is amazing. Zoom or something like Zoom. It could be Google Hangouts. It could be Loom. BombBomb's important. I put at the corner there. Let me turn off my alarm here. I put at the corner there. EvaBot is a gifting thing that we've been using a lot. It's evabot.ai, and you can take a look at them. This way, if you don't get to see your clients in person, you can still send them a gift.
Dude, I still remember when you sent me an Eva, like, dude, you guys have been using that for a while.
Yeah,
this is like,
man.
It's got to be probably at least 2, if not 3 years ago.
2
And it was
years.
awesome. Great.
Right? Yeah, it really connects people. It gives them 2 opportunities to love you. One, the experience of choosing what they like, and then actually receiving that gift in the mail, right? And then Asteroom, it's a cheaper version of Matterport. Obviously, if you have a Matterport like we do, use that. Asteroom's like $59, and it's pretty much the same thing as Matterport. You can find it on Amazon. Take a look at them. BombBomb, obviously, they brought it up at the very beginning of this. Vemly's an app where you can edit your videos and add captioning and add words to the top, to the bottom. It's an amazing, amazing app. Marco Polo, we talked about that. And AM Cards, it's just a card service that you can use to contact your clients and say hello, hey, wishing you the best type thing. These are all opportunities for us to connect virtually, and also by sending our clients some things. And how to prospect right now. This is where to focus. Past clients, sphere, online leads, the last logins. That's so important right now because you want to contact people that are logging in. That's what we've been doing for all of our Ylopo leads right now. We use Follow Up Boss. So going in there, looking at who last logins were, and your approach is
also got to mention, look at your why priority alerts, guys. Like, 2 things. Your last logins is awesome. We got to triage this, right? Your why priority alerts, your Ylopo priority alerts, these are people that are exhibiting not this level of home search action, it's this level of home search action. They are telling you, the priority alerts are tapping you on the shoulder. So those clients of ours who teach others, who say, we don't just like wonder like who we're gonna call or who we're gonna text or what we're gonna do. We literally train our agents to go in, triage this, right? Who are the most important patients to attend to? What triage is, it's these priority alerts. It's the last logins. And it's the riot conversations. Pick up the riot conversations as well. Tristan, I'm really glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, and look, when you have these conversations, I've been telling my agents daily, and lab coat agents and the industry, it's not the time to sell right now. It's the time to come from a point of contribution and say, hey, just reaching out to you. I noticed that you logged into our website to search for homes. I just want to make sure we're sending you the right homes. I don't want to spam you. So just let me know what I should be sending you, price points or areas, and that's it. And then if they're really interested, and a lot of these have been, yesterday we set 3 appointments yesterday, 400 dials, 3 appointments as a team. All we said was, how are you doing? How's everything going? We don't want to spam you. And people brought it up themselves. This is not a time to push. It's a time to be there to start the conversation. And anyone that's motivated will tell you, because they'll have questions. And so the more conversations you have, the more motivated people you'll find. And lastly, expenses. Here's where you need to look at the things that are working. And for us, Ylopo obviously is working massively because more people are online, right? So you need to double down on the things that are working, and then go through your accounts and see what's not working. See all those. For me, it was all the apps that I had on my iPhone that I subscribed to. I subscribed to so many things. I had to cut off a lot of those that I wasn't using anymore. That's what it came down to me. But it's important to look at your expenses right now and double down on what's working, because while everybody else is hiding and running, you need to be the people that are strong enough to lead this industry into a whole new world.
Tristan, can I add something?
Yeah.
So I want to back you up. You talked about EvaBot. We've been using it for a while. One thing I think is you talked about coming from contribution. EvaBot tracks when you're giving gifts, home anniversaries, birthdays, closing gifts. They track 10 or more % higher referral from that base than what you're going to get from the non-gifting base in your CRM. So the more gifting you do, the more referrals you're receiving is the point.
Great point, man. I love EvaBot. And especially now you get those reviews. That's the key.
It is. And it goes across multiple platforms.
Yeah. Right now you need to be reaching out to your clients. And if they start engaging with you, you need to start putting more reviews on Google, because Google SEO, that's the key. Stop posting it everywhere else. Google is the master of everything.
Yeah. So Ryan, it's so funny. I got to show you a picture of Ryan over there, who's handling all your guys, leading our digital marketing team. And,
What's up, dude?
He's actually alone, the only one pretty much regularly coming into our office now, as we're all in lockdown in LA. But he ran into my office and he was watching the webinar and all that. And he's like, Realtor.com just released their outlook, on home sales. And he sent me a quote. This was shaping up to be a fairly competitive home buying season. And that may not be the case now, says Realtor.com chief economist Daniel Hale. It doesn't mean that we won't still see sales, but I would expect fewer crowds at open houses. I would expect more shopping online. Yes, we don't need an economist to tell us that there will be fewer people at open houses. But the more shopping online, we're seeing this. Gee, we started the whole webinar literally 2 hours ago. The statistics are not lying. They are all online. And, to tie it all together, people have talked about Marco Polo. They've talked about Zoom. You could literally, if you're getting a good conversation going, you could literally get someone to jump on Zoom with you, and you could get into the Ylopo home search experience, and you could start tailoring a search with them. You could look at homes with them together. What do you like? What do you not like? Again, we are not trying to overcome objections or get people to do stuff right now. If they need to do something right now, they will tell you. But it's more of this, when the dust settles, when we can go out again, what are you going to want to do then? Right. And Chris Ozar had a really funny comment in our chat. He's like, yeah, after being under, house arrest or quarantine for X number of months, they're going to want a new home. They're going to be tired of the place that they live. So we thought that was a little sense of humor in this dark time. Tristan, anything else that you want to drop in our community? Or
no, man. Look, I know we're all different brokerages. This is not the time to stand apart and say, hey, I only want to help out this brokerage, or I'm only all about this. Everyone should be here. It's the opposite. We need to work together and come together as one industry, because I've seen the opposite happening at a very high level, and it's disappointing to see that. And I got to talk to, like I told you, a crap load of CEOs from our industry, and it's time to come together, not to set ourselves apart.
Yeah, and that's what's cool. I think about our community, which is, we like to be Switzerland. We tried to integrate with as many CRMs as possible, and be CRM agnostic. And we have clients on every single major and independent brand, in North America. We just do. And we're not, all about any one brokerage, right? So we work with small, medium, large teams, solo agents, independent brokerages. We work with everybody. So we're getting that community contribution from everyone. All right, guys, parting shots. Does anybody want to raise their hand? Tristan, thank you. We got so many people who are like, need Tristan slides, want Tristan slides. Guys, I'm telling you, all slide decks. The webinar itself is recorded, all of it. Remember to go to your Ylopo Success community. Please, if you're not checking the Ylopo Success community, so much goodness there. It's never been busier. It's crazy. It's so frenetic, man. There's so much stuff that's just amazingly helpful that's being posted and shared there. We post, we announce everything in the Ylopo Success community. So panelists, raise your hand if you got a parting shot that you feel is important. Okay, Barry, Dr. J.
Implementation. We do not have a lack of ideas. We have a lack of execution. And during my copious amount of time between answering questions, I texted someone, a vendor with Chris Waters Text, who's offered to give me money for co-marketing. I created Zoom with Barry because of Bjorkman. I also created Emotional Intelligence Book Club. Well, I didn't create it. I had someone on my staff do it. So like, you got to implement this stuff, guys. You got to do it. It works. And so make sure you do that.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I know we're going to go Livia next, but like Rena just posted, like, what a great webinar. Thank you so much to all you great professionals for sharing your tips and insights. I have been feeling scared and unsure, but now feel empowered. And I apologize, I don't remember where it was because it was a little earlier, but somebody said that literally this webinar was the best they had seen all week. Another person said that it has literally changed their entire mindset. And they are going forward with a totally different mindset because of just what you guys have all shared with our community. We are rising, right? Your individual boats, right? You're rising our entire tide. Livia, what would you like to share?
I wanted to just say, you know, here we are trying to connect with people and be the voice of reason in a scary, scary environment. And listening to all these professionals today, you did that for me. You connected, you became real for me, and you made me feel less anxious. And that's what we can do for the folks that we have contact with. And Noelle, your share about just do the video. We have Marco Polo going now. We've started a whole string in our office of Marco Polo. These little nuggets, I have pages and pages and pages of notes. We can become real and we can be the game changers by helping them just being a person and connecting.
Yeah, Jerry just shared. Thanks for sharing the encouragement and the conviction to know that we will get through this together as a unified community and country. So they're pouring in, guys. They're pouring in. Anyone else? Any parting shots?
I'll take it.
Yep.
So I just wanted to say, I'm literally watching agents right now contract. They're stop spending money on lead gen. They stop spending money on things that work. They're shrinking from their activity. So when everybody zags, this is our time to zag. This is the best opportunity for us to actually get active. Now, the reality is you can either be the innovator or the late adopter. If you're going to be the innovator, you're going to catch all the opportunity. For the late adopter, you're already late to the party. So, you know, what you have to do is have the courage to still move forward and do things that others won't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Chris Waters, you're going to have to, you know, get a little more active on our Wide Level Success community, man, because a lot of people asking for your slides and all that goodness. So all the granular and the weed stuff. Mike Bjorkman, I mean, the feedback we got was tremendous on what you had to share. You know, I mean, everybody here, Barry, Tristan, Livia, Noelle, Grant, the two Mikes, Chris, Robby T, Damon. I mean, you guys are rock stars. This has literally just been an overwhelmingly positive, amazing, constructive, high level, low level, granular stuff. Somebody's like, I want Ylopo gear. Okay, we'll get you Ylopo gear. So again, a really, really heartfelt thank you. My mindset, you know, has been positively impacted by this webinar. So I know that you guys are going to continue to lead. You're like my college roommate is on the front lines, you know, in the health profession and in the hospitals. You guys are on the front lines here, right? You're in the front lines of this community. Tristan, any list that goes out there that gets published about the top 100 influencers or top 50 influencers in the real estate space that doesn't have you on that list just doesn't understand it. But we all understand it, what you're doing every day and what you're sharing every day.
Can I add one thing, Howard?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I just remembered because we have such amazing people here. For those of you running brokerages and teams, it's important to level up the communication you're having with them because they have so much uncertainty. If you're not meeting right now with them every day through some type of visual conference or at least a phone call, you need to do that from now on until this is over.
Yeah, it's great advice. And I need to do that with my own team. Just everyone have peace of mind. Ylopo was started virtually. We all worked from home because we couldn't afford an office, right? We were a super small company, started in my dining room table, and then we got a little cottage in Venice, and now we've got these fancy digs. But because of our roots, in 1 second, I was like, everybody work from home. Everyone's working from home. We're not missing a beat. We're super busy. And also, Tristan, you mentioned Brilliant Tribe, because I know I'm on your Brilliant Tribe email, man, and that thing is really pretty awesome.
Thanks, bro. I started this December 31st, and I have 22,000 people, CEOs, executives from across the world now on this, normal people like you and I. And what I do is I just give back, working on mindset and the things that you should be listening to visually, audio, things I'm purchasing, and just leveling.
Honestly, I was a little skeptical, and I've been getting Brilliant Tribe, and I'm blown away. I just don't know how you have the time in the day, run a team, run lab coat agents, the video stuff, like all the books you're reading. You're really making me feel. Anyway, you're inspiring. You're absolutely inspiring. But if you're not getting the Brilliant Tribe email, it's awesome. It's going to give you amazing insight on things to watch, things to read, things to think about. Honestly, dude, I was a little skeptical. I am very, very impressed. Anyone else? All right, guys, we are over time. This is like my summit. Like I wanted to have so much time for questions and interaction, and we didn't even let people take bathroom breaks, right? We were 2 days of but people did say it was the greatest summit they'd ever been to. And we didn't get chance to open up, for the, I know that our team and Barry and Kiwi and G and everyone's been answering questions, as many as they can. But again, thank you to everyone that spent the carved out time to join us today. Thank you to each and every one of you panelists. There are other folks, like if you knew that you could have been a panelist, you weren't a panelist today, it kept growing. Like it was one person, then it was 2 people, then it was 4 people, then then 12 people, right? It just grew. We could do a whole nother one, and we should do a whole nother one. We'll find 12 other panelists, but you guys are truly rock stars. You're truly leaders. You truly care about your associates, about your staff, about your clients. So I will end with that. Everybody be safe. I'm going to give you one health tip: sleep. I know a lot of you guys used to wear as a badge of pride, I get up at 2 in the morning and go to the gym, right? I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Chris Waters or whoever, right, who's flexing their arms, make sure that you get a ton of sleep, okay? It's not a badge of pride now to get 4 hours of sleep, because the number one thing, there's a lot of things you can do, right? We're drinking a lot of juice, and we're washing our hands, and we're doing a lot of stuff, and you can get all that, right? The one thing I haven't seen a lot is get your sleep, because what happens when you're sleeping, guys, what happens? It's building back up your immunity, okay? That's what sleep does. It builds back up all the chemicals and everything that we've used during the day. So that's my last little tip. Came out of nowhere, the health tip. Get to sleep, get a little bit of exercise, social distance, hunker down for a while. We will come out of it. I am never wrong. As you all know, I am never wrong. We are coming out of this stronger than ever. I promise you. Do the work now. I took some notes. Lead, act, share, innovate, ask questions, listen, and above all, guys, care. Care more about others than you care for yourself. That's it. We love you. We will be back. We will stay live and active on the community. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Howard.